The moment I pushed open the door to my house, I felt it. Something was wrong. The lights were off, the air was thick with silence, and an eerie tension hung in the air. My gut twisted as I stepped inside, my eyes adjusting to the dim glow of the streetlights filtering through the curtains. The living room was empty. The kitchen, silent. Not a single sound echoed through the house. Then, my phone buzzed. A blocked number. Instinctively, I answered. A panicked voice whispered through the speaker. "Bro, she set me up. I'm in your house, your husband is here. He's banging on the door, I'm locked in the bathroom. Call the cops, man. Please." Every muscle in my body tensed. My house? My wife? My husband? No, this wasn't possible. My mind raced, my breath turned shallow, and then, bang. A loud crash came from the upstairs hallway. I bolted forward, my heart pounding like a war drum. Each step up the staircase felt heavier, my mind screaming at me to prepare for whatever was waiting. As I reached the top, I saw it. The bedroom door was open, the bed sheets tangled in chaos. The bathroom door, half shut, trembling as if someone was holding it from the inside. And then, her voice. "Baby, I can explain." No. No, she couldn't. Because the second I saw the reflection in the bathroom mirror, two sets of terrified eyes staring back at me, I knew. She had betrayed me. And now, someone was about to pay. I stood there, frozen in the doorway, as my wife, Emily, clutched the bedsheet around her bare shoulders. Her wide blue eyes darted between me and the half-open bathroom door, where I could hear the rapid, panicked breathing of the coward locked inside. "Baby, please, just let me explain," she started, her voice shaking but still dripping with fake innocence. "Explain? Explain?" I took a slow step forward, my hands clenched into fists. "So go ahead, Emily," I said, my voice disturbingly calm. "Explain why some guy is hiding in my bathroom, in my house, after screwing my wife." She opened her mouth but hesitated, her brain scrambling for a lie good enough to save her. She had always been a manipulator, a professional liar, capable of twisting any situation in her favor. But this time, she wasn't going to sweet-talk her way out. From behind the bathroom door, a muffled, trembling voice spoke up. "Look, man, I didn't know she was married. She told me she was single." That sent a new wave of rage surging through my veins. I turned back to Emily. "You told him you were single?" My voice was low, deadly. She stammered. It's not like that. I didn't think it mattered." "Oh, it matters, Emily." I roared. "It matters a hell of a lot when my wife is out here spreading her legs and playing the victim." Tears started to form in her eyes. Fake ones. I knew her too well. She wasn't crying because she felt bad, she was crying because she got caught. I wasn't falling for it. I took another step closer, and she instinctively backed away, bumping into the bedpost. "How long?" I demanded. She sniffled, rubbing her arms. It just happened a few times." "Lie," I shot back. "Try again." She hesitated. A nervous swallow. "Okay, maybe, a couple of months." "Keep going." Her lip trembled. She glanced at the bathroom door, then back at me. "Almost a year," she finally admitted in a small voice. I sucked in a sharp breath. A year. A whole goddamn year of sleeping next to me, kissing me goodbye in the mornings, pretending she was out with the girls, while she was really sneaking off to be with him. The worst part? I hadn't even seen it coming. I turned my gaze to the bathroom door. "You. Get the out." There was a long pause before it creaked open, and out stepped the sorry excuse for a man who had been screwing my wife behind my back. Jason. Mid-30s. Blonde. Nervous as hell. He held his hands up like I had a gun pointed at him. Look, man, I swear, I didn't know. I moved so fast he didn't have time to react. My fist connected with his jaw, sending him crashing against the bathroom counter. He groaned, clutching his face, but I wasn't done. You didn't know? I spat, grabbing him by the collar and yanking him up. Didn't know she was married? Didn't notice the ring on her finger? Didn't see the pictures of me in the goddamn house? I threw him backward. He stumbled, crashing into the shower door. Pathetic. Emily screamed, rushing between us. Stop. Just stop it, Daniel. It's not his fault. Oh, it's not his fault? I echoed, laughing bitterly. So what, it's just yours. She hesitated. I could see her brain working, trying to spin the narrative. Then, she dared to say it. I only did it because you weren't paying attention to me. I froze. A cold, dangerous silence settled in the room. You're blaming me? I said, my voice quiet now, but no less deadly. She crossed her arms, her eyes flashing with misplaced defiance. Yeah. You were always working. Always distracted. You barely even looked at me anymore. What was I supposed to do, just sit around and feel unwanted? I inhaled deeply, forcing myself to stay calm. You mean while I was busting my ass to give you a comfortable life? While I was out there working late nights to afford all the stupid *T you wanted? While I was putting you first every single day? She scoffed. You don't get it, Daniel. You never did. I laughed. I actually laughed. No, Emily. You don't get it. You had everything. A loyal husband. A good life. And instead of fixing things like a grown woman, you spread your legs for this coward. Jason flinched but wisely stayed silent. Emily's face hardened. You're acting like I killed someone. I shook my head. You didn't kill someone. You killed us. Her eyes flickered with something, fear? Regret? No. Not regret. Emily wasn't capable of that. She licked her lips. So what now? Now? That was the million-dollar question, wasn't it? I turned away, my head spinning. You two have fun, I muttered, walking toward the bedroom door. Daniel. I didn't turn back. I walked downstairs, grabbed my keys, and stepped out into the cold night air. One thing was certain, this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. I slammed the car door behind me, my hands shaking with a potent mix of fury and heartbreak. The cold night air did little to cool my rage. It felt as though my entire life had been flipped upside down in a matter of minutes. My wife, Emily, had just admitted to carrying on a year-long affair with some coward named Jason. And there I was, standing outside my own house, unable to stomach the sight of either of them for another second. I paced around the driveway, my mind racing. Every single moment we'd shared over the past year felt tainted, every laugh, every intimate moment, every conversation. Had she been lying to me all along? Did she ever love me, or was it all just a convenient setup for her? She had the nerve to blame me for not giving her enough attention. The gall of that woman. My phone buzzed, interrupting my thoughts. I glanced down to see my best friend's name, David. He was probably the only person who could talk me down right now. I picked up. Hey, man, he said, sounding groggy. You okay? I could hear the concern in his voice. I told him everything in a rapid, furious tirade, how I found out, the confrontation, the scumbag in my bathroom. David let me vent until I finally paused to catch my breath. "That's messed up," he said quietly. "You want me to come over?" I hesitated. Part of me wanted to be alone. Another part of me feared I might do something stupid if I didn't have someone around to keep me grounded. "Yeah," I finally said. "Meet me at the gas station on the corner. I need to grab a drink and clear my head." I hopped back in my car and took off, tires squealing against the pavement. My mind replayed the scene upstairs, Emily's wide, panicked eyes, Jason's pathetic whimpering, and the raw betrayal etched into every corner of that bedroom. I had never felt so humiliated. When I pulled into the gas station, David was already there, leaning against his old pickup. He was dressed in sweatpants and a hoodie, hair sticking up in all directions. Clearly, he'd just rolled out of bed. He took one look at me and shook his head. "You look like you're about to murder someone." I scoffed. "Maybe I am." David sighed. "Look, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve your anger. But you gotta think about what happens next. You can't just go in there swinging my fists." I finished for him. "Yeah, well, I already did that." Clocked Jason in the face. David's eyebrows shot up. "You serious?" "Dead serious." The jerk had it coming. He nodded, clearly conflicted between approval and worry. "I get it, man. But this can get ugly fast. You might need a lawyer." "This is big." A lawyer. The thought of it made my stomach churn. But I knew he was right. Emily might try to spin this whole thing as my fault, she was manipulative enough to do it. I took a deep breath and exhaled slowly. "All right," I said. "First thing tomorrow, I'll call one. But right now, I need to see if that snake is still in my house." David frowned. "You going back there tonight?" "I can't leave him there with her. I don't trust either of them. God knows what kind of story they'll cook up." David clapped a hand on my shoulder. "Then let's do this. I'm with you." We hopped back into our cars and drove to my place. As soon as we pulled up, I noticed something strange. Emily's car was gone, and so was Jason's. The house was completely dark. I killed the engine and stared at the empty driveway. "What the hell?" David stepped out of his truck, scanning the area. Maybe they left together. That thought made my blood boil again. She was my wife, yet she left with him? Without even trying to make amends or talk it through. Anger flared in my chest, but I forced myself to keep it together. We headed inside, flicking on lights as we went. The house felt hollow, as though the betrayal itself had sucked out any warmth that once lived here. I walked into the bedroom, noticing the rumpled sheets, the faint scent of cheap cologne. My stomach turned. "She's gone," I muttered, stating the obvious. "Probably ran off to his place." David nodded slowly, taking in the scene. "Guess you don't have to kick him out again, at least." I tried to laugh, but it came out as a bitter rasp. Small victories, right? We made our way back downstairs, and I collapsed onto the couch, burying my face in my hands. David sat beside me, silent for a moment. Then he said, "You need a plan. If she's gonna be this nasty about it, you gotta protect yourself. Financially, legally, everything." I knew he was right, but my head was spinning. I couldn't stop imagining Emily and Jason, sneaking around behind my back, laughing at how clueless I'd been. How many times had she lied to my face with that innocent smile of hers? A year. A whole year of sneaking around. Then, like a cruel joke, my phone buzzed. This time, it was a text. From Emily. "You're pathetic, Daniel. Couldn't even keep me interested. I'm staying with Jason tonight. Don't try to find me." My blood ran cold. I showed David the message. He let out a low whistle. That's cold, man. I reread it, each word slicing deeper into my pride. She didn't even bother to apologize. She was blaming me for her infidelity, calling me pathetic, and rubbing her new arrangement in my face. I clenched my jaw, fighting the urge to smash my phone. She wants a war? I growled. She'll get one. David stood up, rolling his shoulders like he was getting ready for a fight. So what's the move? I rose to my feet, adrenaline coursing through my veins. First, I'm changing the locks. Then I'm calling a lawyer. And after that? I paused, picturing Emily's smug face. I'm going to remind her exactly who she's messing with. David nodded, a grim determination lighting up his eyes. I'm with you. Let's make some calls. Because if Emily thought she could just waltz out of my life, humiliate me, and walk off into the sunset with Jason, she had another thing coming. I wasn't going to be her doormat. Not anymore. I sat on the couch, gripping my phone so tightly I thought I might break it. Emily's text burned in my mind. You're pathetic, Daniel. Couldn't even keep me interested. I'm staying with Jason tonight. Don't try to find me. The audacity. The sheer, disgusting arrogance. She cheated on me, lied for a year, and now she had the nerve to throw it in my face like it was my fault. David leaned against the wall, shaking his head as he read the message over my shoulder. Man, she's something else. This isn't just cheating, this is straight up evil. I exhaled slowly, forcing myself to think. If I acted purely out of emotion, I'd lose. And I refused to let her or that pathetic excuse for a man get the upper hand. She thinks she can just walk out like this, I muttered. Like she's untouchable. David cracked his knuckles. So what's the plan? I finally looked up at him, my mind clearing. First thing in the morning, I'm calling a lawyer. I need to know exactly where I stand. Then I'm shutting her out of my life, financially, legally, everything. David grinned. And tonight? A slow, cold smirk formed on my lips. Tonight, I make sure she remembers who she's messing with. The first thing I did was change the locks. I called an emergency locksmith, and within an hour, every access point to the house was secured. Emily thought she could waltz back in whenever she pleased. Not anymore. Next, I went through our shared finances. She had a credit card under my name that she had been using for years. I cancelled it immediately. If she wanted to shack up with Jason, let him pay for her shopping sprees and spa days. As I scrolled through the bank statements, something caught my eye: hotel transactions. My pulse quickened. This wasn't just casual cheating. She had been sneaking off to hotels, spending our money on him. I turned my laptop around to show David. Look at this. She's been using our joint account to fund her affair. He let out a low whistle. Damn. She's not just a cheater, she's a stupid cheater. I nodded. This gave me leverage. If she thought she could take me for a fool, I was about to prove her dead wrong. Then, I made the final move of the night. I picked up my phone and composed a text. Daniel, you're staying with Jason? Good. Stay there. Locks are changed, your cards are cancelled, and I found the hotel receipts. Hope he can afford to keep you, because you're not getting another cent from me. I hit send. Within minutes, my phone buzzed. Emily, are you serious? You can't do this. Asterisk. I chuckled. Watch me. Another buzz. Emily, Daniel, stop acting like a child. You know I need access to my money. I stared at the screen, shaking my head. She had some nerve. I replied, you lost the right to call it our money the moment you started screwing another man behind my back. Figure it out, sweetheart. Her next message came almost instantly. "Emily, you're overreacting. Let's talk like adults." I scoffed. Now she wanted to talk. Now that she realized she was cut off. I didn't reply. Let her sweat. It was nearly 2 a.m. when a loud banging on the front door jolted me awake. David, who had passed out on the couch, sat up groggily. What the hell? I walked to the door, heart pounding. I had a feeling I knew exactly who it was. I yanked the door open. Emily. She stood there, arms crossed, wearing an oversized hoodie, probably Jason's. Her expression was a mix of fury and desperation. "Daniel, let me in," she demanded. I leaned against the doorframe. "Nah. Don't think so." Her jaw clenched. "Don't be a child. We need to talk." I laughed bitterly. "We could have talked before you spent a year lying to my face. You made your choice, Emily." She took a step forward, but I didn't move. "Come on, Daniel. Don't do this." I tilted my head. "Oh, you mean don't do exactly what you did to me? Don't betray, humiliate, and discard someone like they're nothing?" She huffed. "Fine. Be dramatic. But you can't just cut me off like this." I smirked. "I already did." Her nostrils flared. "I'll take legal action if I have to." I crossed my arms. "You want to play that game? Go ahead. But I've got the bank statements showing you used our joint money for your little hotel escapades. Pretty sure that makes you look real bad in court." That shut her up. Her lips parted slightly, but she quickly composed herself. "This is low, Daniel," she finally muttered. I shrugged. "Not as low as cheating on your husband for a year and then blaming him for it." She opened her mouth to say something, then closed it. She knew she was out of moves. I sighed dramatically. "Look, Emily, I'll be nice. You can come back tomorrow and grab your stuff. But after that? We're done." Her expression darkened, but she knew she had no choice. "Fine," she spat. "But you'll regret this." I grinned. "Doubt it." And then, for the first time in years, I shut the door on Emily. For the first time since this nightmare started, I felt like I had won. I stood at the door, listening to Emily's angry footsteps fade into the night. The weight on my chest didn't lift, but something inside me settled. I had finally shut her out, both from my house and from my life. David let out a low whistle from behind me. "Damn, bro. That was brutal." I exhaled sharply, running a hand through my hair. "Yeah, well, she had it coming." David nodded. "And she knows it. You saw her face when you mentioned the bank statements? She's scared, man. She thought she was gonna walk away from this scot-free." I smirked. Not a chance. But I knew Emily. She wasn't going to just accept this. She was stubborn, manipulative, and worst of all, vindictive. This wasn't over. I woke up to a pounding headache. Maybe it was the stress. Maybe it was the fact that my entire marriage had just gone up in flames. David was already awake, sitting at the kitchen counter with a cup of coffee, scrolling through his phone. "Any news?" I grumbled, rubbing my face. He looked up. "Yeah. Your wife's been busy." I frowned and walked over. He turned his phone screen toward me. Emily had posted on Facebook. "Some men are so weak, they can't even keep their wives happy. When a woman strays, maybe the problem isn't her. Maybe it's the man who failed her." The rage was instant, burning hot and deep in my chest. She wasn't just moving on, she was painting herself as the victim. David whistled. "She's good, I'll give her that. She's playing the poor, unappreciated wife card." I clenched my jaw. She thinks she can just rewrite the story? He shrugged. It's what cheaters do. They don't take responsibility. They justify it. I laughed bitterly. She wants a war. Fine. Let's give her one. That afternoon, I sat in a sleek office across from Mr. Carter, one of the best divorce attorneys in town. The man looked like he'd seen every dirty trick in the book, and from the way he smiled after I explained the situation, he already knew how to handle this. You've got leverage, he said, steepling his fingers. The financial records of her affair spending? That's golden. Judges don't look kindly on cheaters, especially ones who steal from their spouse. I nodded. So what's the next step? He leaned forward. First, we file first. That puts you in control. Then, we request full financial disclosure. If she's been hiding anything else, we'll find it. We'll also push for zero spousal support on the grounds of infidelity. I exhaled. Good. Do it. He grinned. Oh, and one more thing, since she technically abandoned the marital home, we can argue she has no claim to it. If she doesn't contest, you keep everything. I blinked. Wait. I could keep the house? He nodded. If she's staying with Jason, she has no legal ground to demand access to this property. For the first time in days, I smiled. Emily thought she could walk all over me. But she was about to learn exactly what it felt like to be discarded. That night, I was at home, waiting for Emily to come get her stuff. She texted me earlier. Emily, be there at 8. Don't make a scene. Oh, the irony. At 8:15, she pulled up. I watched from the window as she climbed out of Jason's car, like she hadn't just destroyed our marriage. David, who had stuck around for the fun, leaned against the wall. Ready for this? I smirked. Absolutely. I opened the door just as she reached it. You're late. She rolled her eyes. Don't start. I stepped aside. Your stuff is packed. It's in the garage. She walked past me, her eyes scanning the house, like she was expecting some kind of last-minute emotional breakdown from me. Not happening. When she reached the garage, I followed her. She stopped short when she saw the boxes, neatly stacked, labeled Emily's trash in bold black marker. Her face turned red. Are you serious? I shrugged. Just calling it what it is. David snorted from behind me. Emily crossed her arms. You're being childish. I leaned against the doorframe. Says the woman who posted about me on Facebook instead of apologizing. She scoffed. I don't owe you anything. I chuckled. You're right. But you do owe me your wedding ring. Her face twisted. What? I held out my palm. Give it back. She hesitated, gripping her left hand. I bought it, I reminded her. You don't get to wear it while playing house with Jason. For a moment, I thought she'd refuse. But then, with a bitter glare, she yanked it off and threw it at my chest. I caught it effortlessly. Good, I said, pocketing it. Now get your sh*t and get out. Her mouth opened, but I turned around and walked back into the house before she could get the last word. David followed, laughing. Dude, that was legendary. I smirked. She wanted drama. I gave her closure. We watched through the window as she hurled her boxes into Jason's car, slamming the door shut before speeding off. And just like that, Emily was gone. 2 days later, my lawyer filed the divorce papers. Emily tried calling me. I didn't answer. She texted. Emily, Daniel, can we talk? Please. I left it on read. She made her bed. Now she had to lie in it. Emily was out of my house, out of my life, or so I thought. I should have known she wasn't going to just disappear quietly. The first sign of trouble came 3 days later. I was at the gym, mid-set, when my phone buzzed. "David, bro, check Facebook." Now. I racked the weights, wiped my hands, and pulled out my phone. What I saw made my blood boil. Emily had posted again. Some men can't handle a real woman, so they turn into bitter little boys. Imagine getting dumped and thinking changing the locks will change the fact that you're a failure. Face with tears of joy #moving on #upgrade. The comments were brutal. "Damn, girl, he sounds like a loser. You deserve better." LMAO, another insecure dude who couldn't keep his wife happy. "I bet he's crying himself to sleep while you're out living your best life." Face with tears of joy. My jaw clenched. This was how she wanted to play it. David's text came through again. "David, we both know she's trying to get under your skin. Don't take the bait." I exhaled slowly. He was right. Emily was desperate for a reaction, but I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction. Instead, I grinned. If she wanted to play dirty, she had no idea who she was messing with. I called up my lawyer, Mr. Carter. "She's trying to drag my name through the mud," I said. "What are my options?" He chuckled. "She's just making herself look bad, honestly. But if you really want to shut her down, we could send a cease and desist. It'll scare the hell out of her." I smirked. "Do it." He agreed to draft the letter, but I had one more move to make before Emily could do any more damage. That night, I updated my own Facebook status for the first time in years. Funny how some people cheat, lie, and steal, then try to play the victim. Face with tears of joy, keep the lies coming, Emily. The truth always wins in the end. #stay mad #divorce in progress. Within minutes, my inbox exploded. Friends. Family. Even mutual acquaintances. Everyone wanted the tea. Emily must have seen it, too, because not long after, she texted me. "Emily, are you ***ing kidding me, Daniel?" Emily, take that post down. Emily, this is childish. I stared at my phone. Then I did exactly what she hated most. I left her on read. The next day, I woke up to a missed call from an unknown number. Curious, I called back. A woman's voice answered. "Daniel? Hi, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Jason's ex Rachel." I sat up fast. "Jason's ex?" "Yeah," she sighed. "I saw Emily's post. I figured I should warn you, Jason's a piece of ***T. He did the same thing to me that he's doing to you now." My mind raced. "Wait, you're telling me he cheated on you too?" "Oh, multiple times," she said bitterly. "And not just with Emily. That man will screw anything with a pulse. I just thought you should know, in case she actually thinks she has a future with him." I couldn't help it, I laughed. Loud. This was too good. Emily left me for a guy who was going to cheat on her the same way she cheated on me. Rachel continued. "Look, I don't know if you're planning to get revenge or whatever, but if you want dirt on him, I've got plenty." I grinned. "Rachel, I think we're about to become very good friends." That evening, David and I met Rachel at a bar downtown. She was a brunette with sharp eyes, the kind of woman who'd been burned before and wasn't afraid to burn back. "So," I said, taking a sip of my drink. "Tell me everything." Rachel smirked. "Where do I start?" "Jason's broke. He borrows money from his girls and never pays them back. He cheats on everyone. I found out because he left his phone unlocked, and I saw messages from at least 5 different women." David whistled. "Damn. So Emily downgraded. Rachel laughed. Big time. Then, she pulled out her phone. And if you really want proof, she scrolled through her photos before turning the screen toward me. It was a picture of Jason. In bed. With some other woman. Taken just last week. Holy sh*t, I muttered. Does Emily know? Rachel smirked. Not yet. David grinned. Oh man. We gotta tell her. I chuckled. No, no. We don't tell her. We show her. I went home that night and uploaded a new Facebook post. Some people leave a good thing thinking they've found better, only to realize they played themselves. Clownface ladies, always do your research before you trust a snake. #karma #couldn't be me. Attached? The picture of Jason in bed with another woman. The reaction was instant. My notifications blew up. People knew exactly who it was about. And then, Emily called. I smirked and answered. Hey, Emily. What's up? She was seething. You son of a b********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** I laughed. Why? Because it's true? Her voice shook. Who gave this to you? Was it Rachel? That bitter B asterisk TCH? Does it matter? I asked. You chose him over me, Emily. Guess you should have picked better. She was silent for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was different. Smaller. Weaker. Daniel, can we talk? I raised an eyebrow. Why? Thought I was pathetic, remember? She exhaled shakily. I made a mistake. Oh, now she realized it? I grinned. Too bad, Emily. I don't do second chances. And then, I hung up. David clapped me on the back. Damn, that was cold. I smirked. Nah. That was justice. Emily thought she could humiliate me. Instead, she just got played by her own game. And it felt damn good. After I hung up on Emily, I expected her to disappear. Maybe she'd slink back to Jason, pretend everything was fine, and keep up her little, I upgraded, act. But that's not what happened. Instead, I woke up to another text from her the next morning. Emily, Daniel, please. Let's just talk. I swear it's not what it looks like. I laughed. Not what it looks like. The picture of Jason in bed with another woman said otherwise. I tossed my phone onto the counter and poured myself a cup of coffee. David, who had crashed on my couch again, groggily sat up and stretched. She's still begging? I smirked. Yup. He chuckled. Bro, she's in full panic mode. She knows she played herself. I nodded. And I'm gonna let her sit in it. David grabbed his phone. You might want to check Facebook, though. She posted again. I frowned and pulled up her page. What I saw made me burst out laughing. Sometimes, people twist the truth to make themselves feel better. I'm not perfect, but I never deserved this. Some people are just cruel. Crying face. Oh. So now she was the victim? David snorted. She's trying the sympathy card. Classic. I shook my head. Let her. She can play the victim all she wants, but she knows the truth. I spent the rest of the day ignoring her messages. But later that evening, just as I was settling in to watch a game, the doorbell rang. David looked over. You expecting someone? Nope. I stood up, walked to the door, and checked the peephole. Emily. I sighed. Of course. David raised an eyebrow. You want to deal with this? I thought about it. I could ignore her, let her stand out there and stew in her regret. But something in me wanted to see it. To see her finally understand that she lost. I opened the door. Emily stood there, arms wrapped around herself, looking completely different from the smug, confident woman who had thrown her affair in my face. Her hair was messy, eyes red-rimmed, and she looked like she hadn't slept. "Daniel," she started, voice small. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "What do you want, Emily?" She swallowed. "Can we talk?" I smirked. "I dunno. Last time we talked, you called me pathetic. Said I wasn't enough for you. So what changed?" Her face twisted with guilt. I didn't mean that. I was angry." I nodded. "Sure. And when you were sneaking off to hotels with Jason for a year, was that just because you were angry, too?" She flinched. "Daniel, please. I know I screwed up." I tilted my head. "You just figuring that out now? What was it? The locks getting changed? The credit cards getting cancelled? Or was it seeing Jason in bed with another woman?" Her jaw clenched, but she didn't deny it. "That's it, isn't it?" I chuckled darkly. "You thought Jason was your future. Thought he was some kind of upgrade. And now, what? He's already cheating on you, and you want to come crawling back." Tears welled in her eyes. "I don't want him, Daniel. She sucked in a shaky breath. "I just want to fix this." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Fix this?" I repeated. "Emily, you didn't break a dish. You broke our marriage." She reached out, as if to touch my arm, but I stepped back. Her face fell. "You really hate me now, don't you?" I exhaled. "No, Emily. I don't hate you." For a moment, she looked relieved. Then I continued, "I don't care about you at all." Her mouth parted slightly. She looked like I had punched her in the gut. I leaned in just a little. "And that's worse, isn't it? You'd rather me be angry. You'd rather me yell. Because at least that would mean I still feel something." Tears slid down her cheeks. "Daniel." I shook my head. "You don't get to cry. You don't get to act like the victim now." She wiped at her eyes. "I miss you." I smirked. "You don't miss me. You miss the security. You miss the stability. You miss having someone who actually gave a **T about you." She bit her lip. "Can't we just go back to the way things were?" I narrowed my eyes. "Would you have come back if Jason hadn't cheated on you?" She looked away. I don't know." I nodded. "Exactly." She took a shaky breath. "Can we at least be friends?" I laughed again. "Friends?" She nodded. "I don't want to lose you completely." I tilted my head. "Emily, we aren't friends. Friends don't betray each other." She swallowed hard. I cut her off. "You just don't want to face the fact that you lost everything." Her breath hitched. "So this is really it?" I stared at her, unblinking. Then I closed the door in her face. The next morning, I met with my lawyer. "File the papers," I said. He nodded. "And do you want to contest the assets?" I smirked. "I want her to get nothing." Mr. Carter grinned. "Consider it done." That night, I received one last text from Emily. "Emily, I'm sorry. For the first time, I didn't feel angry. Didn't feel sad. I just felt free." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. She wasn't my problem anymore. I sat in my lawyer's office, watching as Mr. Carter skimmed through the final draft of my divorce papers. He flipped through the pages with the ease of a man who had seen this situation 1,000 times before. "Everything looks good," he said, sliding the papers toward me. "Once you sign, we'll serve her. Given the financial evidence we have, she's not getting a dime." I picked up the pen and hovered over the signature line. For a moment, I hesitated. Not because I had second thoughts, I was done with Emily. But because this moment felt like the end of a long, painful war. A war I had never wanted to fight. Then, I exhaled and signed my name. Mr. Carter smirked. "And just like that, Daniel, you're a free man." 2 days later, Emily got served. I didn't tell her it was coming. I didn't warn her. I just let her open the door to a legal representative handing her a thick envelope. David and I were grabbing lunch when my phone buzzed with an incoming call. "Emily." I let it ring. Another call. Then a text. "Emily, are you serious right now? You actually filed?" I smirked and took a sip of my drink. Damn right I did. That night, Emily showed up at my house again. This time, she wasn't crying. She was furious. I barely got the door open before she stormed in. "You couldn't even tell me in person? You just filed like I was some random stranger?" I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "You are a stranger, Emily. I don't know the woman you've been for the last year." Her hands balled into fists. "I just needed time, Daniel. I just needed to figure things out. And you?" I cut her off. "No. You needed attention. You needed validation from someone who made you feel wanted because your ego couldn't handle a stable, loving marriage." She scoffed. "You think you're some kind of saint? You weren't perfect, Daniel." I laughed. "You're right. I wasn't perfect. But you know what I was? Loyal. Something you clearly don't understand." Her face twisted in frustration. "I made a mistake, okay? But you didn't even try to fix this." I narrowed my eyes. "Fix this? Emily, you cheated on me for a year. You lied to my face every single day. You spent our money on your affair, then had the audacity to act like I was the problem. And now you expect me to fix it?" She opened her mouth but had nothing to say. Because she knew I was right. I sighed. "Let me make this simple for you. I don't love you anymore. I don't want you anymore. And after today, I won't even have to think about you anymore." She swallowed hard. "So that's it?" I nodded. "That's it." Her lips trembled. For a moment, she looked like she wanted to say something else. Maybe beg. Maybe fight. But instead, she turned and walked out the door. For the last time. The divorce was finalized faster than I expected. Emily didn't even contest it. Maybe because she knew she had no chance of winning. Maybe because Jason's betrayal had shattered whatever delusions she had. Either way, I won. David and I went out that night to celebrate. "To freedom," he said, raising his beer. I clinked my glass against his. "To never dating another Emily." We both laughed. Then, something caught my eye, a woman at the bar, smiling at me. She was gorgeous, confident, and most importantly, nothing like Emily. David nudged me. "Go talk to her." I smirked. "Maybe I will." Because for the first time in a long time, I felt free. And my real life was finally about to begin.